Okay, so we are going to be going to plant a flag upon the moon. Moon. Now, we're not using the realism mod here, so it is only the moon. We can see some trees in the distance. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There you go. I'll not tab out. Excellent. Right. So we're going to the moon. We've spent our science. We've got heavy rocketry, got propulsion, we've got separation. We can make a much better rocket, hopefully, with all of this junk. Problem is that we're still limited to 30 parts. I think we're going to have to upgrade this building, which is going to give us a bit of a headache, as we may be short on cash because of it. It should be alright. So we've still got 90,000 left. So I'm going to put some time accelerator on, because I'm wanting to have the moon exploration mission come up. So let's get to daylight. There we go. Orbit the moon. Yeah, I wanted full exploration. I've only got orbit and plant the flag. Not perfect, but we'll see what we can do with that. Plant the flag obviously requires us to land, which is quite a big issue. So, we're going to need a landing stage. Okay, return stage. We're going to have, what, 2 of these? Try to put them in the middle. So we can have 2 thermometers, 2 mystery goos. I'm going to get a communications module as well. I need 1 of these, of course, but I'm going to try to put it inside. So if we extend it, it goes out. We retract it, it's inside the service bay. Beautiful. One thing that annoys me a little bit is that I can't put satellite dishes on like these wings, because it'd be a great position just to put the photovoltaics on the opening inside of the doors, but unfortunately that's not a possibility. So what we're going to do is just going to put them here, maybe. Actually, we don't need them to return, do we? So let's leave them off for now. Actually, I need the weight, don't I? So they will explode on re-entry, but hopefully it won't be a problem. Heat shield. So I don't need this junk, so get rid of that. And I'm going to check the center of mass. So it's still quite high. I don't like that being so high. Put a couple of drogue chutes on as well. So I'm going to need to use the SES. Make sure there's no monopropellant because it's just going to be ballast. I'm not going to have anything on board that can actually use it. Right. So next we're going to have the landing stage. Okay, so what I want to put here is going to be the little tiny little engine here. It's going to go in the center. So I've got a tricky little bit here that you need to put the center of mass as low as possible. These landing struts need to be below that engine. But at the same time they need to be, so these struts need to be below the engine, the lowest point in the engine, but they need to be as high as possible so that we're not messing up the balance of the aircraft, spaceship, whatever. Okay, we're going to call this something original, like Moonlander. Off to land on the moon. There you go. And we're going to put some decouplers in. So this is our landing stage. We're not wanting to use that until as late as possible. But we are going to have to remember to put the fuel transfers on. How much are these engines then? So the engines weigh 0.5 tons, but the fuel tanks weigh 1 ton. So what I'm thinking is I could put 2 engines on the side, then simply have these as drop tanks. But I know, in order to make it balanced I still need 2 engines, wouldn't I? So I might as well put the engines in series. It's too much. Okay. Right, so let's put the precariously random position for the solar panels. I'm going to add the next stage. Check the stage up till now. So we've got 1 parachute, then we've got the drogues, then we've got the re-entry separation, Then we've got the lander stage engine. Then we've got lander separation. We've got the transfer stage and transfer stage separation. So this is probably going to do a little bit of orbit as well. So now we go for the orbital burn. Now we're getting a bit tall, aren't we? But hopefully it'll be okay. So we're going to put a swivel engine on here because it'll give it a bit more control. But I really want to be using these babies. Do I need to use them? Or could I use these? How much is this bit? It's only cost 3,000. These things are 2,700. So would I be better off using more of these? How much thrust are we getting out of them? 600 kilonewtons from that one. And this one's only 200. This is 3 times the thrust. No. I don't think I'm going to need 4. I think 3 should be plenty. These side tanks feed the middle tank, whilst they also have their own engines. Looks good. I could put a little bit of aerodynamics on them, and then stop them wandering all over the place. Let's put some struts. I think I'm also going to need some struts on the top ones. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's go through staging. We've got all 3 engines run in the first stage, but the fuel is being transferred to the center stage. When they run out, we separate the side stages. Then when the center tank runs out, we separate the center stage and activate the middle engine on the transfer stage. When transfer stage is complete, we separate, then activate the engine on the lander stage. And finally we separate the re-entry module, which then has drogue chutes and main master chute. Looks good, looks very good. Obviously it's a bit ugly, this top bit. Yeah. Not much to say about that, it's just very ugly. Should do the job, provided it can get into orbit. Getting into orbit's the hard part of this. Okay. So, max thrust, all 3 engines. I think we're slightly low on the old thrust there. Possibly very low on the old thrust there. That's a problem. Had any more fuel, it wouldn't have taken off. Let's rotate anyway. We're only going at 100. It's not nearly fast enough. That is problematic. Maybe I could whack a couple of S1s on the side. That will really get me going. Possibly a bit too fast, but I can always reduce the throttle to make this stage last longer. About the side stage is about to run out, and we've now not got enough thrust to maintain speed, which is bad. Right. So, what I can do here is add two of these. This is not a very subtle solution. I want to add them quite high up, actually at the same level as the other engines, so I don't cause any overheating. Then I'm going to need to put some struts on them. Something oh. Strut seems to have got lost. There we go. So this stage is actually 600 between all 3 engines. Whereas now I've just added an extra 1200 thrust. So that should be quite a big difference. So the middle stage engine may actually just be used at relatively low level for control, but I'll still put them at the same staging. Imagine this is far, far too powerful now. Alright, so I'm using all 3 engines to get up to speed. And try to keep it. Now I'm just going to throttle back and let the S1s do the work. I'm going to throttle back on because I haven't got enough control now. Okay, that's a problem. Right. So, I forgot to add fins. These ones weigh 3 times as much. I think what I'd rather do is add one there, one there, obviously mirrored, and then one on the sides as well. This means that only on the side stages. Should make this beast a bit easier to control. Okay, throttling back. So now just using the boosters, and they seem to be doing quite a lot of work. Whoa! Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It's wandering way off course. I don't know what caused that. It's not good. The side fins seem to be struggling a bit. Okay, we're going to the 45 degree now. We'll switch to the orbital tracking. It's looking good. Stage separation is coming up. There we go. So this is now the orbital insertion stage coming up. Slightly off, but it should be fine. See, this circle shows we're slightly towards the 180s. It's not quite flat here. The moon has a relatively flat orbit. Okay, let's bring this down to the horizon. So we're now burning slightly off towards the north. That will counterbalance our misburn to the south. Don't want to do it too sharply. So we're burning at full speed. As it's just very slowly making it around. Should be enough that we can get it. So we've got half a tank left on this stage. It's not as much as I would have liked. Fuel out, and we're transferring to the next stage. This is now the transfer stage. Okay, we've now got the flat orbit, so we can move it back to the 90, and hopefully at full burn we can manage to make it into orbit. Might be short. We haven't got much thrust on this stage. I'm just going to time accelerate it up. actually looking fairly good. We're about to have periapsis, aren't we? Question now is if I've got enough fuel left. And we have orbit. Right. It's not a great orbit, but it's an orbit. So we're going to set target to the moon and see if we can find an intercept. So not actually close enough, or not quite. Let's go a bit further around. There you go, that's a nice low orbit. So, line up for the burn. Get ready for the transfer. It's going to be quite a long burn, so yeah, right. Let's get going. I'm forcing time acceleration here just so I can make the burn faster. No, haven't got nearly enough fuel left. I failed to make our orbit properly. It's annoying. I mean, I might be able to make orbit with that, but I really need this to help me a little on the landing. I could try it. It's this stage, the landing stage, that worries me. Oh well, let's go for it anyway, shall we? And we have moon intercept. Yes, we're going to have to use that fuel just to make orbit. You may fail to make a landing. Look how low we are, God. Slip round to retrograde. Okay, so now we're trying to make orbit. This fuel's going to cut out any second. Yep, there we go. So we have an orbit now, which is good enough for one of the missions. And first orbit the moon. Do some science here. Quite a big jolt I got when I jumped out then. Make sure I've still got orbit. Right. We have a milestone, which is first spacewalk in orbit of the moon. That's nice. So let's go to the space center. Can you let me go to the space center? No. Let's make an attempt for it. So we're trying to kill our lateral movement. Just try to go vertical. But the problem is I reckon we're going to run out of fuel. Approaching a dead halt now. See, I'm doing this surface relevant because the surface is rotating slightly. And eventually this should become like a knife edge. Oh, I'm going to land on the edge of a crater. That's annoying. It's not going to be flat. Right. So we go retrograde. Should point us vertical or near enough. Quite close to the surface now. It's due quite high altitude around here. Slow down to maybe 50. See if I can find my shadow. Where's the sun? It's above. Right. Not especially helpful. It's coming up quite fast again, so slow down. Touchdown. Okay, so I'm going to transmit some of this data to clear my backlog. I have to wait for the power to regenerate. There we go. Now we can do a new crew report. Okay. Let's go for an EVA now. Okay, we can clip a little bit. There we go. Let's go to the Space Center because I want to see if I can get a surface sample while I'm here. But it's going to cost. Ooh, I see. I can very nearly do it. That's really annoying. Get anything that'll give me like 3,000. That too. Test the rocket at the launch site. Easy enough. Let's go with the new one. Engine is an S1. I can even hold it in place. Minimum fuel, minimum thruster. Ooh, I don't want to detach it, so let's just do that. Let's recover it while it's burning, and I'll get the fuel back. Collect surface samples. Bingo! So I've got almost no money left. So if I can't recover this mission, which I don't think I can, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. But I want that 120 science. So I've got that one. Let's try transmitting that one. Damn it. I could change the transmitter mode, but I'd rather not. Got it. So this one's now empty, so I can take that one and pin it there. This one's now empty, so I can pin it there. This one's not empty, so I can pin it there. Let's wait for the power to recharge before I take off. This is going to have to go perfectly. So what, mystery goo? Okay, so let's lock down the science payload. We're going to have another burn when we reach the aqua-apsis to get us to orbit. We're approaching already. This is the big one. slightly vertical, try to keep the height up. Wow, okay, we've nearly made orbit there. I think we've got plenty to get back. It's a super low altitude orbit, quite dangerously so actually. Because the height is not necessarily level the whole way around, especially with places like that. It looks like it should be okay. But let's... Oh, I can do an EVA over that crater, which is nice. Okay, so I can add a maneuver and it'll go there. That's not too bad, is it? There we go. It's a nice little orbit I can get into. I can do an EVA while I'm flying over this bit. It's a bit of extra science. So I can't get much time acceleration because I'm so low. So we're going to go over this big crater here. Stop. Make sure I'm not going to collide with the ground at all. So I am going to be very, very low. Look at that. So you've got those hills coming up as well. This is the dark side of the moon. Lots of cool craters and stuff here. You can't easily see it because it's dark. Right, so we're coming up. We've got another 5 minutes. Three minutes to the burn. Oh, the fuel's held out relatively well, far better than I expected. Okay, coming up on it now. Alright, it's gonna pop. Perfect. And we have escaped the moon. So next stage is to We're quite close to the upper axis now, actually. We could just do it from here. I'm going to time accelerate a little bit first. Just because I don't want to risk re-entering to the moon. Slightly fuel inefficient this, but I reckon I'm actually okay for fuel now. That's a good height. So I'm probably going to have to do atmospheric braking on this, but hopefully that won't be a problem. Obviously the first lap I'm just going to use fuel. So I'm just bringing this down. And it gets slower and slower and slower as we go. Let's move back to the periapsis. Try to be a bit more fuel efficient. So I don't want to go below, what, 30? The risk is that I can't actually slow down enough to make re-entry if I go too low. Okay, so let's go up to the upper axis, and then I'm just going to slow down into re-entry. Okay. Yep, that's a fairly solid re-entry. It's probably fairly terminal. Okay, we've just gone terminal. Right, got no power. So let's hope I balanced it correctly. It looks like I may have. This is a ballistic re-entry. Straight into some mountains. Great. Parachute's all intact and our pilot's alive at the moment. So looking good. slowing down fairly well. About to hit lower atmosphere. Here we go, 900. It's these mountains that worry me. I don't really want to get rolling when I hit the ground. Hopefully I'm going to land here, but I'm possibly going to land here. Certainly don't want to release the drogues too soon. On this area. A bit further. A bit further, come on, come on. Past these hills. So, passable landing site, yep. Good. Rogues deployed. And the main chute. Good. Okay, we're down. Rolling. We can't stop rolling. Come on, stop, 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 stop. We can take a surface sample here. There we go. And get it back aboard. And cover. There we go. Successful moon mission. 340 science. That's a beautiful number.